Welcome back. In the previous video, we had a look at how we can divide a decimal by an integer. In this video, we're going to have a look at how we can divide a decimal by a decimal. We're going to achieve this by looking at 4 unique examples. Example A, we have 3.963 divided by 0.3. The way in which we're going to do this is a similar method to what we looked at before. We're first going to identify our divisor as shown over here, and we're going to pretend in this instance that it's actually a whole number. So I'm going to rewrite it as simply 3, ignoring the fact that it's actually a decimal. Next across, we're going to look at our dividend, and we see it's 3.963. I'm going to still remember that this is a decimal and just write it out as such. So 3.963. Next, I'm going to show that we're going for division. And now I'm going to search for the quotient. Computing this, I ask myself how many times does 3 fit into 3? Well, it goes once. Decimal point goes up. Then 3 into 9 goes 3. 3 into 6 goes twice. And 3 into 3 goes once. Alright, almost done. Now the next step we have to do is we have to remind ourselves that we're actually dividing by a decimal, the decimal being 0.3. What I'm now going to do is count how many spaces past the decimal point we are. So it's 1, D, P. After that, I'm going to look for my decimal point over here, and I'm going to shift it to the right by 1. So what I'm going to do is I end up here. Next step is I can simply rewrite this number out as the result being 13.21. Verifying that this is correct, I type in 3.963 divided by 0.3, and I indeed find that it's 13.21. So the method we may use to calculate the division of a decimal by a decimal is simply pretend the dividend is in fact a whole number and then adjust the decimal place by shifting to the right. Alright, moving on, let's go across to B. We have 0.284 divided by 0.2. Performing the division on this, we again pretend that the divisor is in fact a whole number, so we write that as 2. Then our dividend, we write it as 0.284, showing that we're going for division. Alright, 2 into 0 goes 0 times, decimal point goes up, 2 into 2 goes once, 2 into 8 goes 4 times, and 2 into 4 goes twice. Going back, we now count our decimal places on the divisor. In this case, it's 2 decimal places, and therefore we adjust the decimal place by going 1 and 2, and we find that our decimal point ends up here. Writing the result, we simply find that our result for this problem is going to be 1, 4, just like that. Verifying that this is correct, we indeed find that the result is 14.2. Moving along, we go down to C. We have 1.224 divided by 0.04. What we're going to do is perform this division. Once again, pretending that we're working with a whole number, we simply rewrite the divisor by 4, and the dividend is still a decimal. Going for the division, 4 goes into 1 0 times, build the friendship bridge, decimal point goes upwards, 4 goes into 12 3 times, 4 goes into 2 0 times, friendship bridge, 4 goes into 24 6 times I believe. We now adjust for the decimal places, in this case it's 2 decimal places. So we go 1, 2, and we find ourselves here. Writing the result, we ignore the 0 at the front and we rewrite it as 3, 0.6 or 30.6. Alright, D. let's step it up. We have 140.1 divided by 0.02. Alright, at first glance this probably seems, once again, run-of-the-mill. We pretend that our dividend, or we pretend our divisor is simply a whole number, and then we write our dividend after it, setting it up. Alright, let's go for it. 1 into 2 goes 0 times. Build the bridge. 2 into 14 goes 7. 2 into 0 goes 0. Decimal place goes up. And 2 into 1, well, it doesn't work. So what we need to do is we need to extend it backwards. The number that we add in here is now 0, not actually changing the value, only its representation, bringing our 0 up here as well. And then 2 into 10 is going to go 5 times. Fixing this up, we have 2 decimal places here, so therefore we go 1, 2, and therefore our decimal place goes here. Rewriting this out, we're going to rewrite it as 7005.0, and this is our result. So the complexity in this one is we have to add the 0 at the end here to accommodate for this 1. Double checking that this is indeed correct, we can go to 140.1 and we'll divide it by 0.02, and you indeed see that it equals 7005. So in summary, what we had to look at in this video was how we can divide a decimal by another decimal.